Well, it seems like, especially with boxing right now, the talent level is extremely high. I mean, it is with MMA as well, but I mean, with boxing, it seems to be on an upswing. And it also seems like people are really interested in some of these big rivalries, like Triple G and Canelo. That was two amazing fights. I thought the first one was a robbery. I thought that Triple G won the first one, but the second one.
I hope they don't fight again.
Really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
Because when you get a guy that hits as hard as Triple G does, and you get a guy that's as good as Canelo, you know, and they're in there, even though they're not getting dropped and they're not getting knocked out, them type of fights take a lot out of you. They really do, and they shared a lot in those two fights. And we don't know even right now if the next fight or the fight after that Canelo starts showing some of the effects from those first two fights.
You think so?
Yeah, you get a guy that hits, two guys that hit that hard, and they're in there fighting like that, eventually it does drain you a little bit, and that will catch up. I think a third fight will shorten the career of Canelo. I'm not going to say Triple G because Triple G is my age now, and I have a feeling that his might be getting short here pretty soon anyways, just due to age. But Canelo, I mean, those are brutal fights.
They were brutal fights. Did you think that some people thought that Triple G won the second fight as well? I thought it was a much closer fight than the first fight. But did you think that Canelo or Triple G, I think Canelo showed some improvement, but it's also possible that Triple G might have slowed down a little bit.
I think so. The first fight I had at 9-3 for Triple G. That's how I scored it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and I gave the first 3 rounds to Canelo, and then I had it every round after for Triple G. This fight, I thought Canelo won. Close fight, and if you gave it to Triple G, I wouldn't have screamed robbery.
Right.
You know?
I think Teddy was saying that he thought that Triple G won, but I felt like it's a pretty close fight. But certainly Canelo showed much improvement.
He did, and he fought a better fight. The first half of the fight, I gave Canelo a lot of rounds because I thought he controlled the fight with the body shots. Mm-hmm. Everybody thought Triple G was controlling it with the jab, but the reason why Triple G wasn't using his size and strength was and was using his jab was because of the body shots that Canelo was landing. I mean, they were brutal, and I just thought Canelo dictated the pace of those first couple rounds. I thought he won enough of the early rounds, and obviously Triple G won most of the second half of the fight, but I thought it was a little too late, and I had Canelo up by a round or two.
Yeah, it's just one. Those are two fighters that really sort of epitomize what people like to see when they like to see like these classic rivalries, right? Like a guy like Triple G who's just forward pressure, constant, throwing bombs, knockout puncher. A guy like Canelo who's just one of those classic Mexican fighters that has incredible heart, wants to fight the best of the best, really takes it into
like he did
who
in the
he
first
is.
fight.
Yeah.
Stay on the ropes with Triple G and let him use that power to beat your organs. And he's one of those type, I was sitting there, I'm not one to talk. I kind of like getting in and getting involved myself with guys, especially like with Miranda, who I personally believe hit harder than Triple G.
Really?
But and I was a guy in there, but that was my strategy. As were Canelo, that really wasn't a great strategy. I didn't lay on the ropes and let Miranda.
Do you think he just didn't know what to expect until he was in there with Triple G?
It could have been because everything changes. Like I think Mike Tyson said it. Everybody's got a game plan until they get hit. He might have got touched, like I said, even with the tension in that Mayweather fight, and the whole brain might have just started going 1,000 miles an hour trying to figure out, okay, like this ain't going to probably work tonight with this guy because he's a lot stronger than I expected. Right. And he was just trying to maybe tire him out. The only issue is now when you're on the ropes like that and you're getting hit by a guy that hits that hard in the delts, in the elbow, in the forearms, and to the body. And then you're tightening up and you're tensing up really hard and you're cutting the oxygen off to the blood. It tires you out quicker and it wears you down, more than what he was doing in the middle of the ring by pop shotting and counter punching. And he could have dictated how fast he wanted, how much he wanted to punch, how hard he wanted to punch.
Yeah, we certainly made some big improvements in that second fight.
Yeah.
Do you you really don't want to see them fight a third time?
I truly don't. I mean, if it happens, I'm going to watch it.
But they're going to fight, right? I mean, Canelo's obviously going to fight some people, and Triple G's obviously going to continue fighting.
Yeah. And again, I don't know how long Triple G's going to fight because, as you mentioned, and I agree with you, I think he's starting to – his age is showing up a little bit with him.
Well, I mean, he got avoided by a lot of people, and we you know, when he had a pay-per-view a couple years back that only got 150,000 buys. And I remember thinking, that is a damn shame.
It is.
It's a damn shame that people don't realize that this is absolutely one of the best fighters ever.
I was surprised by that, too, because I think he's a lot more popular than what those numbers showed.
I didn't get it. I don't understand. I mean, maybe it's because they didn't think the fight was competitive. Maybe I don't know what it was, but it seemed like.
I just think, personally, myself, there's a lot of fights out there for Canelo. He just went up to 168.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. You know,
do you think he's too small for 68?
I do, especially if you get in with the right fighter.
Right.
I truly do believe that. You know, everybody.
How tall is he? Is he 5'10"?
Yeah, 5'9", 5'10". But you know, with boxing or like football, when you see the height, you always got to take an inch and a half off too. So.
Oh, did they lie?
Yeah, they had me listed 6'3". I'm right under 6'2" by like that much. So it's kind of like the football program in high school.
Right,
you know?
right.
But Canelo, I think that there's guys out there staying at 68 is kind of dangerous. I think he's right now talented enough to keep good fights out there. Yeah, but it's a little dangerous in my opinion.
Who do you think at 68 could cause problems for him?
You got even the guys like Zurdo, Benavidez. You know, those are dangerous fights. Just them two guys right there, I would have to take. Not so much overall skill wise, just size and being at that weight. And you know, you got guys coming down like Bivol. From 175 to 168, I think that his better days are going to be at 160. You know,
do you think does he have a hard time making 60, or did he just have an opportunity to fight 68 and he took it?
I think it's the trophies.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't blame him for that either. He had the right fight to go up to 168, so get another weight division under his belt.
Yeah, he was tuning that dude up,
and I think that'll be what 3. No, he's a 3 weight class champ.
Yeah,
and so that looks good on paper when you retire.
Yeah,
you know? Well. It does. I would have done it if I could have, you know, if there was the right fights out there. But
when he fought Mayweather made him cut down to what, 52? Was it something like that?
I think they were at a catch weight around that.
Yeah. That fight was, to me, it was a good learning experience for him to be in there with a guy who's as slick as Floyd is, but also a good learning experience that you're not supposed to suck that much weight out of your body. Just he didn't have the fire.
No, even though you have 24 hours or however long it is to try to rehydrate, that's never enough time to recoup.
Yeah.
It's not. So your thing is you're just hoping your opponent's going through the same thing that you are. You know, that's what it comes down to.